I'm being watched by some fantastically supportive friends of the family. So give me emotional support, guys.
Yeah. Come on, man.
You can do it. Okay, a little bit of sugar. A little bit more glue. Welcome to Crimson Guitars. Welcome to Greenfields at Glastonbury Festival. I'm at the Greenfield craft site. They've asked us back to build a guitar, and yeah, I'm building a guitar. But this year, I brought my entire workshop, most of my home workshop, because shit happens. And the shit that happened is some poor bastard snapped the headstock off his guitar. I'm going to do a quick field repair, glue it up, clamp it up, potentially put a spline in, but this does not need to be the death of an instrument. Even a budget instrument that you've brought to play at festivals, it's worth saving, absolutely. So, well, let's get gluing.
Burn it.
It's warm, it's really warm in here. My glue is going to go off very quickly. That's my only worry. Actually, yeah. So there is an old repair. It had snapped in the past, but this fresh break is, as is often the case, next to the old one. So the glue is actually always stronger than the wood around it, if it's done properly. And this doesn't need to be pretty, but it does need to be stable. If you've got an old break and it's got dusty and oily and stuff, you'll need to clean it, and you'd use peroxide or something like that to clean all the old grime away so that you do get a nice gluing surface. But this is good. I'm going to take that tuner off and get going. So that's interesting. You've got a bunch of wood that fell off the last time, and they've just filled it with cascamite or something. Very thin. This is one of those giant truss rods that's so close to the back of the neck. But it functions, so what can you do? The new crimson stand already stained. I'm going to be using some of these engineer's clamps. I love the way that they work with parallel jaws, and you can put a lot of pressure on them. I'm going to put some masking tape on here so I don't damage it too much. We don't particularly care. The client does not care what this looks like, but that's no excuse for cutting corners. Don't cut corners. At this point, it's very simple. It's just a case of putting in the glue and clamping it up, making sure that everything is well attached. In this heat, it's going to go off fairly quick. You don't want huge amounts, but I definitely don't want to starve the joint. So I'm just going to spooge it on there. I do not want to get too much glue in the truss rod area. It would break. It's not going to glue metal, but there's no point in making life hard of yourself if you can avoid it, says the man who built the complication. Okay, so it's got a slight sliding motion to get itself in. Now I'm watching the glue line very carefully with a particularly clean break. Sometimes as you clamp it up, the addition of the glue makes the headstock want to slide, and the addition of the tension also can depending on what the crack is like underneath, make the instrument move, or at least the headstock. And in this case, I've gone slightly off-piste. So just pay attention to where it's actually clamped up. Put that under tension, and tighten up. As I started applying attention, the glue made it slip. So I'm going to go back in and reposition quickly. Now I'm being watched by some fantastically supportive friends of the family. So give me emotional support, guys.
Yeah. Come on, man.
You can do it. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm starting with the second clamp and seeing if that makes a difference. No, it still wants to slip. You obviously test the glue up, you clamp it all up and see what happens. Until you add the glue, it doesn't slip. Okay, a little bit of sugar. A little bit more glue. Okay, so the actual trick is salt. I don't have any salt here, but a few crystalline grains of sugar in there should stop this from slipping. It dissolves in the glue,
5, 6, and back in.
but should be okay.
Could you do with an extra pair of hands?
I could actually, if you wouldn't mind. Take that. I'm just going to.
Hack under there as well, don't you?
Yep. There.
You tell me when you're happy.
Yep. Go for it.
I'll clamp first.
You have to bring all the other friends.
Okay. So yeah, the sugar should stop it from slipping. I don't particularly want to put a pin in there.
How tight do you want me to go, Ben?
I'll take it from here if that's okay. A sign of somebody who
has clamped things up like this before?
Yeah, exactly. It is a common problem, over clamping.
Yeah.
You do not need huge amounts of pressure to make something
Do what it needs.
do what it needs to do. That lined up absolutely perfectly. It's got some Glastonbury Festival sugar acting as a
Let's bump the price up by a fiver.
oh yeah, that it has actually. Just go along, remove most of the excess physically, and that saves you wiping too much. It's going to be a very, very tight joint. So just, I'm changing how parallel the clamp is by doing that. Just changing slightly where that's clamped, and that has that's sorted it. I always want to build a £10,000 guitar, but at a £3,000 retail price. And I was talking to some of the guys in the custom shop the other day and said, hey, if you have a problem with something I say or a technique that I insist that we use, wind your fucking neck in. No, write it all down and we'll discuss it and figure it out. And we're going through that process because I am asking for too much. In this case, this is a 10 quid field repair of a broken headstock. The only proviso is I want this thing to be playing when the guy comes back this evening to pick it up. And it does not have to be absolutely perfect. And if you have got your sort of favorite home guitar and your kid knocked it off, by the way, there's a link in the description to when that exact thing happened to me, and I repaired broken headstocks that one of my kids knocked over. It doesn't need to be pretty. You don't need carbon fiber reinforcing splines or any of that stuff, but you can fix this. Anyway, I've got to wipe this glue off because it's fucking hot in here. There we go. That's a repaired headstock. I'm going to leave it to cure for 3 or 4 hours. I do have the strings. I think the nut might be in the guitar. I do want to get it under tension though, so I hope so. Catch you soon. Okay, it is about 4 hours or so later, maybe a bit more. And there's movement in there. I wonder if it'll hold up though. This is the quickest, dirtiest, jankiest headstock repair I have ever attempted. It is so weird not aiming for perfection, but how much of perfection is professional pride and superfluous to a stable repair? Probably quite a bit. Wear your scars with pride, my friend. You may have survived Glastonbury Festival 2024. We don't have his nut. I'm just going to put a temporary one on here just to see if it holds under tension. The suspense is killing me. The tension is killing me. The suspense.
Cut.
Cut. Okay, I'm just going to leave it slightly under tension, see what happens. Put the other strings on gently and see if I can feel any movement. I think it'll be okay. The actual nut has arrived, so let's go under tension.
Ben built a Glastonbury last year. So we're building another one now, but we've just been given a bit of a repair job by someone on site. So let's stop. So just
Okay, I'm going to leave it there for a minute. I suspect that this had a shim underneath the nut. That's very, very, very buzzy. But it's under tension, it hasn't snapped, so leave it this for a while and see what happens. Here we are back at my home studio after Glastonbury. I'm trying to tidy up and get to a point where I can get some work done. And of course I've realized that we did not film a satisfactory conclusion to this repair. I glued the headstock on, everything worked absolutely fine, strung it up, I tuned it up once and then left it, and I had to go and see a band play. I was at Glastonbury after all, and while I was away the client came and picked it up. James kept an eye on it and tuning and stretching strings and all of that jazz, and then we watched the owner of the guitar, James watched the owner of the guitar throw it in a rucksack on his bag, jump on a bicycle and totter on down the road. That would have been the perfect end to this video. Anyway, the moral of the story is A, film everything. B, you can repair a freshly broken, snapped off headstock with a few clamps and some glue. You don't necessarily have to have splines. You don't need to refinish and go to the nth degree. With many things in guitars and in life, you don't need that utter level of precision and perfection, and finding where you can and should stop. That is something that I struggle with, at least. Anyhow, thank you for watching. Please click like and subscribe, it really does help. And yeah, keep an eye on this channel. I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back to what it always should have been. More guitar builds, more repairs, more experimental luthiery. Yeah, fun times. There is a new side channel coming too. Oh yes. Catch you on the flip side. Have a good one.